What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we have something a little bit special. We have a new 2021 Hellcat Durango. Now, they are only making about 2,000 of these, so these are going to be pretty rare on the street, and this one is in a pretty cool spec. So like we normally do, we'll take a quick walk around the vehicle, we'll go out and drive it and get our initial impressions of it and see what the Hellcat Durango is all about. So as you can see, we've got the Hellcat Durango here. This does have the black appearance group, which gets you the black badges, the darker kind of black gray gunmetal wheels, the black mirror caps, and this one also does have the really cool stripe package with the red stripes outlining the big black racing stripes. But it is honestly a really awesome looking Durango. You also get the black exhaust tips with that black appearance group. If we jump inside, you of course have the awesome new Uconnect 5 10-inch screen that comes in the Pacificas and Durangos. That looks really nice. The new refreshed switches and instrument panel on these things. All right, let's go jump in this thing, go out and drive it, and see how a 700 plus horsepower Durango feels on the road. All right, guys, so we are out in the Durango, and it is a really nice place to be in. With the refresh dash, the new Uconnect 5 system, it just looks really nice there on the dash. They did update the HVAC vents, and they do feel a little more premium, look a little more fancy than the previous refresh version of the Durango, but it is a really nice place to be. The lower switch bank also got reconfigured. The switches just look nicer, maybe a little nicer placement. It just altogether looks more premium. Now with the SRT, you do have the quick hard buttons for the launch control, the SRT buttons, which will pull up all of your drive modes. And like other SRT vehicles, you've got the track, the sport, auto, snow, tow, custom, all of those modes where you can go in and change how heavy the steering is, how stiff the suspension is, how hard that transmission is banging through the gears, because it is really awesome with that 8-speed and the active suspension, how much it changes when you do cycle through those modes. The auto mode is obviously going to be where it defaults to every time you fire it up, and is going to be the most daily drivable compliant position out of those drive modes, and it gets progressively more aggressive as you get to sport and track, and the other way as you go down to snow, tow, etc. But this vehicle being new, we're not going to be beating on it today because it only has 20 miles on it. We obviously need to let this thing get broken in before we go launch moding down the road, but we'll at least get to drive it and see how it feels, because these are honestly going to be pretty rare out on the road. They're supposedly only making 2,000 examples of the Hellcat Durango, so it will be a pretty rare sight if you see one of these rolling down the road, but you'll know what they are now. These have the same Hellcat engine that they've been putting into Hellcat since 2015, and in the Durango, they are tuned at 710 horsepower, which is supposedly good for a mid 3-second 0 to 60 run. So you can haul the kids to school, you can haul the groceries home from the grocery store, and then you can go to the drag strip on the weekends and put down some really nice times and surprise a lot of people. And equally, you can really surprise some people at stoplights when you absolutely leave them off the line. Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting about the Hellcat Durangos, or the 392 Durangos, versus the Jeep Trackhawk or Jeep SRT, is the price tag. Now, you'd think this is a longer 3-row vehicle, it's got to be more expensive, right? It's the same vehicle but longer. And you'd be wrong. A similarly equipped 392 Jeep versus Durango versus Trackhawk versus Hellcat Durango, you can save anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 going with the Durango variant. And I really don't know why that is. They're still both extremely nice vehicles. Now, I do think the Jeep has a few more standard features than the Durango does, but honestly, if you're wanting to go fast and look good and you don't care about a leather wrap dash and a leather wrap door panel, you can go with the slightly cheaper Durango and save a ton of money and have 3 rows to put more cargo space or more kids in the back of this thing. The Durango is honestly a really good value when we're talking about expensive performance SUVs. Because if you are in the market for a 392 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a Trackhawk Grand Cherokee, I would honestly be cross-shopping with the 2 Durango variants because of that potential price savings in the original window sticker price. And you still get all of those cool features that you do in both of the Jeeps, the drive modes, the launch mode, the cool big large center tack, all of the same things you get in the Jeep, you obviously get in the Durango. We're sitting in really nice suede and leather seats. We've got red seat belts on. We are in a race car that can do all of those things. Obviously, you can still option the trailer hitch on this thing and tow the boat to the lake very quickly. All right, so let's accelerate back onto the highway here and see if 710 horsepower adequately moves a large 3-row SUV. Because if you need to merge onto the highway, you need to be able to do it rather quickly. Yeah, it merges just fine. There's no issue there. If you need to jump into a gap getting onto the highway, you'll be able to very successfully do it. Now, you are in a long vehicle, but you will have the speed to be able to get onto the highway at speed. And that's just one of the cool things about these Hellcat powered vehicles is you can roll into the throttle, turn them into a wild animal, and then the second you're back out of it cruising down the road, they're in 8th gear and it drives completely tame like nothing ever happened. They are just a really versatile vehicle. They kind of do everything other than the fuel economy. You're going to be hitting a lot of gas stations with any or all of the Hellcat powered vehicles, but it's really fun and it's really worth it. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed a quick little look and drive on one of these relatively rare new Hellcat Durangos. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you've seen any of these things driving around your area, what color they were, and were they moving quickly or not. And if you ever do get a chance to drive one or own one, definitely do. What a awesome vehicle these things are to drive. So guys, as always, thanks for watching and we'll catch you guys next time.